What's up, binge watchers? Welcome back to the channel. Today I have another TV review for you guys. This one's coming from HBO Max and HBO Go Asia. For my Asian subscribers out there, this is a sci-fi dark comedy called Made for Love, created by Alissa, and it stars Cristin Milioti as Hazel Green, a young woman who's out on the run from her toxic and controlling relationship with a tech billionaire, Green-Gogol, played by Billy Magnussen. Now, what she doesn't realize is Byron here has installed a chip on her brain that allows him to track each of her movements. So before I continue with this review, guys, if you haven't subscribed yet to the channel, please do so and hit that like button while you're at it. Now, back at it again, Carlos Laron, hello.
Hi Kevin, hi everyone.
Yeah, another Black Mirror-ish concept. So, start off this conversation. What do you think about this show?
Sure, I'm so glad that we were reviewing this title from HBO Max. I thought Made for Love is definitely made for me and for us and for everyone who are fans of Black Mirror and sci-fi series. So it is very zany and wonderfully eccentric, but it's also pretty dark and twisted. It serves as a cautionary tale about the many ways that technology has preceded the modern world. Safe to say, I loved every minute of it, and I cannot wait for the continuation of the story, actually. So I'm hoping for a second season. Like you said, it's based on the novel of the same name by Alissa, who also serves as the show's creator. After seeing the show, I'm so excited to read the book. It's my kind of thing, and here, the show is a lot of things. It's a sci-fi, and then there's some elements of a dystopian romance, family drama, and a satire, basically. And the deadpan humor is also on point. It's one of my favorite things about the show. Those blended well together, and the series is a great example of a show with an off-kilter premise, elevated by terrific performances. In the beginning, I actually found the plot kind of like, okay, where is this going? And it's kind of depressing to know that Hazel, a woman who's on the run from her husband, we get to learn her story in flashbacks. We see her journey and running into old friends and family, which is definitely not just a fun-filled ride for me. It's also reflective of some life themes here and there. I actually want to see it again over the weekend. So, yeah, what do you think?
I don't think there's a confirmed season 2 yet, right? But I am interested on watching this. First impression, it feels like a half-baked concept initially at first, just because it's funny that we're reviewing this after a TV show that we did, which is The One. In The One, there's a more real-world life application. The concept there is something that you can take seriously, something that might happen in the future. But in here, it's taken on a dark comedy. My worry here is maybe the commentary would not be as sharp. The edgy and the dark elements of this show has been toned down by the ridiculousness mainly coming from the Gogol tech, and just the fact that Gogol sounds like a search engine. Byron here, a controlling character, and Hazel who's seeking for validation, so it's only natural for them to link up. You mentioned that there's a disjointed timeline as we get to know what made them decide to enter this relationship, this very strange relationship. This show did its best when it comes to giving a lot of hilarious takes to its modern technology and giving insight to the modern love. And then to the performances, as you've said, this show has elevated its seemingly nothing new premise. Cristin Milioti, she has this innate likable character in her. It almost feels like this is an extension of her character in Palm Springs.
Yes.
We have here a determined heroine. We're gonna love this character for all of her flaws, and the show did a great job in rationalizing her decisions. But there's still a potential for a second season to explore more of her psyche. And then Billy Ray Magnussen. This role also fits to him because I've only seen him on game night. He plays this dumb character, but at the same time, that character is self-absorbed, narcissistic. So in a way, it's kind of similar into here, even though this character has a high IQ. He clearly has a low EQ, and he's only coping with his insecurities by trying to to be controlling to someone else. So the thing about Byron, though, I don't see him as a real character as I'm watching this, just because I needed that backstory, which they might be withholding for second season. But right now, I kind of see him as this artificial character because he's taken on a ridiculous facade. Maybe I needed to know his upbringing, a more meaty backstory. And then Ray Romano here as the father generates so much empathy. A father who tries his best, but another character in the show who does not know how to express love. So in many ways, this show is about people trying to communicate with each other, but not really listening to each other. So I think that in itself is a really good commentary that speaks about the flaws of this modern love.
Correct. I'm gonna share a fun fact with you. While we feel like the show had a Black Mirror-esque type of energy, if you look back on an episode of Black Mirror called USS Callister, Cristin Milioti and Billy Magnussen were in that same episode.
Is Billy also in there? Wait,
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you have to go back.
Maybe that's the reason for their casting.
Yes, like if you go back, you're gonna see like this show comes full circle in a way because I think they're such dynamic actors and really a delight to watch. The true charm of this series is Cristin Milioti. I love her. Like for me, she's a very special actress who is so versatile and her eyes are so expressive, and she can easily shift from a romantic comedy lead to someone who is also broken. With the character of Hazel, it gives her a lot of opportunity to do so because Hazel is just not someone who's running away, but she has become jaded in her life. For the past 10 years, she has been deprived of a normal life, and little things like walking and smelling even, she misses that. And I think Cristin Milioti does a great job in portraying that kind of woman. And with also Billy Magnussen, he is playing this Ken doll type of guy, creepy and manipulative. But when the situation calls for his comedic chops, I think that he just switches to someone who's really effective. His wrong idea of love is control, and we see that he delivers here. Also, Ray Romano, I love his character, and one of my favorite scenes there, oh my gosh, when Hazel goes back and he confronts him, like the pain that he caused her during the past 10 years. That to me was kind of heartbreaking, that he treats his sex doll better than he treats his daughter. That was something else, man. Like that was honestly one of the highlights of the show. And also may I point out the other supporting characters. Fifany, played by Noma Dumezweni, and Herringbone, played by Don Bakkedahl. They also shine in their own roles, and I could honestly watch future seasons with them, like doing their antics. Also, Judith, who appears in the later part of the season, played by Kim Whitley. She is just hilarious and easily my favorite. This show is not so character-driven, but when you combine them all together, their performances really stand out. That's the main strength of the show for me.
Completely agree with you. While this show did not totally sell me the idea of the Gogol Tech company here, it's kind of striking because it seemed like Byron is living in his bubble. We specifically have here what we call the hub. It's like a simulated real-world environment that he decides to lock himself up along with Hazel. And outside the world, I don't think people really subscribe to his technology. I mean, this show kind of treated him as a joke, and that kind of fits because this is a comedy. Maybe in the future seasons, maybe once that Gogol has launched these technologies that he have, we can have more seriousness. But I love that this show takes this subject lightly. Maybe it's not the best approach if you want to have the best and the sharpest commentary, but just because it's light, it's 30 minutes episode, it's bingeable, but the themes are really about stalking and violence, which are really heavy hitter themes. The supporting cast, I also found the dynamic between Byron and his assistant. I would love to see more comedic takes from them trying to navigate the real world life. Cristin Milioti, I think it's almost advantage for an actress to have large eyes. I felt like that is a common trait that she and Anya Taylor-Joy's show. So it's not only about her charm or her comedic chops, because as you've said, this show also lends dramatic moments and she really delivers. She has the right amount of comedy and pain that she needed in this situation, and you're just going to root for this heroine.
One of the things that I like about the show, like you said, was the fact that they were able to create this warped world. And then when Hazel goes back to her father, it's literally the opposite of the hub, the paradise. It's like a deserted wasteland. The juxtaposition of that is so good because the deserted wasteland is her home before she decided to go with Byron. And to me, that feels nostalgic, and like her childhood is there, but she doesn't want to carry on the memories anymore because she had such a traumatic past. So yeah, I like that. Also, it explores relationships. When we are in relationships, we should let our partners be their own individual persons. And Byron does not subscribe to that idea. And besides the many other themes, a major one that I really like was the fact that it showed that we cannot run away from ourselves. If you know that saying, wherever you go, there you are, it's really resonant on this show because Hazel runs away from Byron and now she has to deal with her current situation, which is resolving the many problems in her life and like her relationships with her dad and her friends. It's like a real life setting too in that way. The social commentary about the tech giants who keep inventing things that are seemingly helpful on the surface but ultimately destructive. I like that. Very on point. So yeah, those are the things that I like about it.
Yeah. Hazel is kind of a neglected child, so Byron is her means of escape. So she has this luxury, but later on she gets to realize that this sense of comfort that she has can be overbearing at times, and that obsessive behavior from Byron, the show kind of portrays it initially as charming, but you know, it's in fact dangerous when you come to think of it. You can enjoy this show in multiple levels, comedy and a sci-fi, and then as a commentary, which the comedic aspects of this show, while it's hilarious, I don't think it tones down. The message needs to be delivered. This is also a complex and a bit offbeat exploration of female liberation, because in sci-fi sometimes women can be the object of desire. While it is true for this show, just because we're following most of the point of view of Hazel here, it feels liberating. And yeah, I am definitely sticking for a second season. I would give this show a 4 out of 5 stars.
I liked it more than you liked it, I guess. And this is such a solid look on wanting to connect. And in this case, planting a microchip inside your partner's brain and becoming in sync with them. Maybe not always the best idea. It will always cause some sort of resistance to the partner. Of course, we have a woman trying to reclaim her life and getting to live again in her own terms. Like I said, female liberation. I'm all about that. I liked it because it has terrific performances across the board. I didn't mind the story, even though it has a lot of flaws and it might not seem like too realistic. Cristin Milioti, very special, and I cannot wait to see what's in store for her in her career. I'm smelling a season 2 brewing up with that quite unexpected ending. May I just say that I kind of teared up in that last scene, but just because I did not expect it to end it that way. So it made me question, what will I compromise for a better quality of life? This is gonna sound crazy, but this is a 5 for me. So yeah, I like it.
Okay, sounds good. I completely believe you. So yeah, especially on that latter half of the season, we don't expect that there's much emotional heft, right? Anyway, guys, that's our thoughts for the HBO Max series Made for Love. How about you guys? Have you seen this show? Let us know what you think in the comment sections down below. And also, if you enjoyed watching this video, please give this a like and subscribe to us for weekly content. Carlos, thank you so much for doing this with me. Okay, thank you so much guys for watching. Until then, see you on the next one.
Bye guys.